Here we are on a Peugeot Expert, Citroen Dispatch, or the Fiat equivalent, 2-litre HDI, 136 variety. They come in different versions, all have the same fuel filter though. So let's do the fuel filter, show you how that works. Tools required to change a fuel filter. A ratchet of some sort with a T30 torx and a 10mm deep socket. A lever of some sort, a short one, a Phillips screwdriver, flat blade screwdriver. Some brake cleaning is a great idea, and a rag. As is, you'll need a fuel filter. I'm using this Mail KX331D for the 2-litre diesel, but use your registration. Check to ensure you're ordering the right part for your vehicle. Okay, let's get on with the guide. To gain some decent access, I like to take off this housing. Usually do a pollen filter at the same time anyway, so go and see my guide there of taking that off and changing it. But basically it's just 4 bolts or nuts that are 10mm. You zip them out the way and this housing will pull out of the way, out of the engine bay. You'll also have a little pipe here to unclip, a little pipe at the back which will pull forwards, and then you've got better access to this fuel filter and all the dust and the dirt. You can just get to it a bit easier, is all I'm saying. Sometimes as well, if I'm feeling really fruity, I'll take this bolt off here and just lever this back, but you've got to be careful with this pipe here. It could be a bit brittle, especially in a few years' time. And with 5 nuts that are nice, easy to access, we've actually got plenty of room now to work on the fuel filter and not be smashing our fingers and struggling. Sometimes 1 minute clearing something out of the way saves a whole lot of hassle. Right, this excuse for an engine cover has to come off. You can see how it's degrading and just putting dust everywhere, so we'll clean that off in a second. But these are just basically poppers that just pop onto some, well, they did once upon a time. They should just pop on and pop off in your hand, basically. So that one just came out. Just be careful with the material, you're not just dusting down stuff. Right, and we'll put that safely over there. And then we can get to our fuel filter, which is right here. And missing a bolt, which is just fantastic. Okay, so as you can see, fuel comes in here with the primer bulb here, and the fuel goes out here. But we also have a little sensor connected, which is likely a water content sensor. So those few things will need to disconnect. Before I do that, I'm going to rinse this off with brake clean and wait for it to dry off. You could use an airline for that, because there's a lot of dust and dirt, and I don't want to get this inside of the fuel filter housing. It's worth mentioning I've got a drain tray down below catching the oil, because I'm draining the oil at the moment, but I do that anyway with the fuel filter. You're going to drain fuel down, so unless you want it all over your driveway or wherever you're working, catch that fuel and dispose of it responsibly. So yeah, drain tray underneath, ready to catch any residue. Right, 2 or 3 things need to happen next. We need to basically disconnect the sections of this fuel filter housing to be able to get this lid off. You could try and take the lid off with the bolts and just kind of leave it connected, but you're really going to struggle, make a big mess, and again, a little bit easier to just do it the right way. So we're disconnecting this fuel line here, which is the return, to just make it a little bit more easy to maneuver things around. We can unclick it from further up here as well, like so. We're going to do the same on this one, because we're going to disconnect that one in a second from our housing. Again, you just kind of get some flexibility from these very, very firm lines. And that primer bulb as well, we can unclick from its housing just to give us some flexibility. Sorry, I didn't see that at the top there. Okay, now these clips, you'd think they just pull out, but actually it's the centre that pulls out, so a little screwdriver to pull the centre out. Then the outer piece pushes in, and then we pull the pipe out. So did you get that? Centerpiece pushes out. The larger part of the clip needs to then push in, and then we can pull this out. And then I'm going to get a little cap to put over our hose. Try and find one that fits or rams in the end, just to prevent leakage and prevent dust and dirt getting in. We need a different size one. Sometimes your fuel filter, the new one, will come with said cap. But I find they do that less and less these days, so shame on them. So I keep a few old ones hanging around, just because I want to make sure I do a good job. They all seem like the same size though, so that's delightful. I don't like leaking diesel everywhere. I also don't like dirt getting inside my diesel system. Allow dirt to get inside those fuel lines, or we'll just make it harder work. So there we go. We'll tap that out the way. We don't want that flicking back on us. Okay, so that's out of that way. So that's the fuel in done. Next step is fuel out and getting this clip off. So this clip, we are going to lift up the back. No, sorry, push down, I think it is. Push down on a little tab at the back, and then we push into the fuel filter very briefly, and then back. Sometimes people pull too hard, and there's a lot of tension there. We'll check on the connections. Okay. And just push that out of our way. And then our out one, same process. We lift the middle of the tab out, or up, I should say. Then we push this down. It should go down if we've got this tab up high enough. There we go. Might be a bit stiff. Come on, baby. There we go. And then just tease it off, that pipe. We've got it unclipped further up, so it should just tease off now. There it is. Okay, that's fuel coming out of that, so I'm going to put a little blank in it. So that's going to look like that. Again, preventing more, there's less the diesel coming out and more preventing the fuel, the dirt getting into the fuel system. Okay, so with these few bits sort of out of our way, we can now undo these torques. There should be 4. Someone's done something about that in the past for some reason. So 1, 2, 3, and yeah, we'll get them out. Alright, so we've got some T30 torques, different varieties. Put these in your little safe pile of pieces. This is not an impact wrench, by the way, this is just a battery wrench. I wouldn't use an impact gun on these. And don't do what I just did. And if you do, have a magnet handy. There we go. Okay, and then this should very gently lift up. If it doesn't, don't force it. Don't leave her on something you shouldn't. Get a little screwdriver around the outside and just tease her up. Just tease it. Just tease it up. You're not looking to break the plastic or slip and break your hand. Just she's nearly there. I'm not sure this has been up in the air for a while. Oof, we'll get a better lever on that. Why do people charge so much for having a service done? This is why. There we go. Well, we're going to get a proper job done. A bit of a better lever in there. And she's lifted up with that fuel filter, which is really gunky around the outside. I don't know if you can see that. Let that drain off as much as we can. Then we'll go over to the workbench. I always have my piece of plastic, so just go straight over it. Zipper bag, piece of cardboard, something. And again, just stops the muck going inside of there. Alright, on the workbench now, we've got our little tray which I tend to use, just so I'm not draining diesel absolutely everywhere. And we have our fuel filter, which is looking very mucky, and all the muck around it as well. So we're going to give it a little clean off with brake clean, with the old fuel filter in place, just to stop any muck going up inside the housing. A little brush, let's just clean that off. Now, do you have to do this? No, of course not. You don't have to change your fuel filter if you don't want to. Is it good practice? Most definitely. Okay, so we'll just let that drip down. Then we get a little pick. Could use a screwdriver and just bring that seal down and off. Your new fuel filter will come with one of those. And then a screwdriver. And I tend to just push into the filter and lift the housing off. Okay, so there's our housing, our filter, and I tend to also keep this pointing down. As soon as you turn it upside down, you're going to get muck inside there, which could end up in your fuel system. So similar before, I'm just going to clean out any muck that's in there, potentially some brake clean, and we're going to allow that to dry off before we fit our new filter. So that's been drying off. The old filter aside, we have a new filter in a box, which we're now opening. We're also going to check that it's the correct one. Yep, looks good to me. Got a new seal, so we're going to get that seal on now. Run it around that lip. There we go. Shouldn't need any lubricant on that seal, and then we're going to push the new filter on its housing, like so. Very nice. If you're going to put anything on this seal, a little bit of diesel would be my preference for any other oils or anything like that. So just as I put it into the vehicle, you might see me just dab a little bit of diesel on there. Alright, we're back. Putting this back in now. As mentioned earlier. Might do a little cheeky dip. Now you could also drain this, by the way. If you felt like there was water, which you'll see in the bottom, you could drain it out, or dirt. I'm having a good look in there. It doesn't look like any of those things. It looks lovely and crystal clean, which is fantastic. But if there was any sign of dirt, we drain that out. I'm just dipping a little bit of diesel just onto the O-ring, as diesel is a lubricant and it won't contaminate anything. Get it in nice and square. Push firmly down. There we go. We saw it just slide down real nicely there. Now with our bolts, 4 of them, I will find the 4th one and replace it. Of course, it is good practice, actually, to get the pipe on as soon as you can, especially the out pipe. So we're going to do that right away. There we go. Again, we're just doing this to prevent contaminants from getting inside the fuel system. Oh man, it's so stiff. There we go. Keep playing with it. Keep playing with it until you hear that click, and then we push down the little tab on top, and that locks it in place. We push the pipe onto its tabs as well. Okay, and then we'll do the same with our fuel in. Clip in our primer bulb onto it, and then slide in that bad boy in until we hear it click, and then a little tab clicked in like that. There we go. Not coming out at all. Right, let's nip this down. I normally go opposites, but that's not going to work today because we haven't got an opposite. It's not tight at all, just a few Newton meters. No real pressure in there at all. And we're going to find a spare bolt for that before we prime it up. Whilst not ideal, I found a replacement one that was a different head, but it fits and it squeezes that corner down. But you should have 4 done up nice and snug. Again, this is not a head bolt, it's just a fuel filter housing. Okay, so now we need to plug our clip back in. We'll hear a resounding and reassuring click when that happens, like so. Nope, not quite. It keeps wanting to come off. Could be our tab's a little bit weak, that's all. Yeah, maybe. So a little click. There we go. She's on. She's on for good. Then we just want to undo this, which is a Phillips head, very slightly, and then pump our primer bulb at the top here, and you'll start hearing the bubbles coming out. There's no tank inside these, there's no pump inside the tank on these, so with the ignition on it won't prime. And when you start pumping that starter motor, all it will do is just crank until your starter or battery dies. So we're trying to keep pumping. We can see bubbles, and once you see, you can probably just see it on camera, I hope you can, a nice stream of diesel coming out of there. we know we've got all the air out and we can lock that down. And there we go. Clip in a final tube, which we moved out of the way just for a bit of access. You can see why maybe now. And there we have it. The final thing to do would be, I'm not going to do it because I'm actually draining the oil at the same time, would be to start the engine. If the engine starts and starts coughing and chugging or then fails to start, keep priming this and then check for leaks. And if there's no leaks, you're golden. If there's leaks, remove whatever's leaking, check it for debris or that the seal might have come a little bit ajar as you pushed it in, and rectify it. And then the process all starts again. Bolt it down, bleed it out. But the only thing that might happen now is there'll be a bit of air in the system, so just give it a good prime before you start it, and then let it run for a couple of minutes so that if there are any air bubbles, it'll just purge them out of the system. There you go. I hope that was useful. Any questions, pop them in the comments. I'll try and reply as soon as I can if you're in a bit of a sticky wiki.